There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
All right, you're up. Hello?
We're back.
We're back. Hello, everybody. It's the Purple Pill Show. Purple Pill Podcast. We're back in the saddle here. We're getting it done.
Yeah.
We're getting it done. This is the show where we suspend our beliefs on what was and what is. And we use our imagination on what is and what could be. In order to transcend the matrix, hack the 3D, and exit the Truman Show. Because there is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. And it was recently scrubbed in recent history.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're over there, you're laughing.
It can be hard to discern which articles documenting strange events were spun purely from imagination or which might have been built around a core of truth.
Yeah, is that a tell?
Yeah.
That's the rationalization that guy's giving because he just can't wrap his mind around the dinosaurs are the fake story and the dragon story in the LA Times from 1887 is actually the real reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I sent Tim this.
Who built this?
I sent Tim this great article from the LA Times from what year was it?
1882.
1882.
Yeah, I think it's 1882.
And it reports that a dragon torched a freight train bringing supplies or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm spot on, huh?
Terrible attack on Southern Pacific Railroad near Dos Palms, California. Express attacked by a flying snake. Passengers firing at monster with revolvers. The Illustrated Police News in the LA Times. And that's March 18th, 1882. Right.
And there's no incentive for a fledgling newspaper or a fledgling journalist to make something up out of whole cloth if they want to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
If a report like this was so off the wall, cartoonish, then publishing an article like that would screw up your credibility. It's like the ones back in the 80s. You're in the you're at the supermarket and it's Bat Boy.
Right, and
right?
I think
who bought those? Who bought those newspapers? We just laughed at them in the line checking out, getting our eggs.
And I'm sure that there was another medium like, Strange Tales magazine or something that came out, I want to say early 1900s, but people were writing for that. Sci-fi writers.
Yeah, right. It's not like there's no outlet for that type of writing.
Right.
If you want to write
or comics,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have written that
well, I think
somewhere
the
else.
Sci-Fi magazine, things like that came out in the
Carnival.
Came out in the 1950s.
Really?
You got to remember 1882, it's horse and buggy. Winters are cold. You need stoves. I mean, life is hard.
Oh yeah.
You're not just reading, Sci-Fi magazine. That's like 1940s, 1950s when infrastructure was up. There was electricity. Everyone had a heater. That's when you get comfortable and you start making up these crazy fictional Star Wars type stories.
H.G. Wells.
Yeah. This article was next to other articles like stock market, local things that happened in the town. It's the LA Times. It's the LA Times. I mean, can we pull up the LA Times from that exact edition?
Maybe, probably not.
And see what it was alongside.
Yeah, it's right next to the blueprints for the Getty.
Yeah, right. So this episode is called "The End of Fear." The End of Fear, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. The End of Fear. So when you hear that title, you immediately think, what bravery,
courage,
right? Perseverance.
Yeah.
But the way I'm thinking of it is
faith.
Yeah, belief. But the way I'm thinking of it for this episode is, wow,
That was awesome. How'd you do that?
dude,
You almost died. Cody's microphone just fell off on his lap.
This is why we can't have nice things. How did you? And the spring wants to.
You broke it.
I broke a lot of things. There we go. There it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but.
I know, but you don't want to strip it.
There we go.
That was awesome.
That was a trip.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right. Hello? Hello?
There we go.
All right.
We're back.
The way I'm thinking of it for this episode is the end of fear in regards to what we believe about everything.
Because it's scary to think of dragons.
Is it
fire
though?
on trains.
I mean, what's scarier? A school shooting? Or a big, like that Vegas concert shooting?
Active shooter, that's pretty fucking scary.
Is that pretty scary? Or
Fuck
a dragon attacking a train?
Well, I've never seen a dragon attacking I've never seen an active shooter. So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're
both pretty scary.
I would say, yeah, they're equally as scary.
Right. So I think that the fear isn't actually from the details.
Yeah.
The fear is from not understanding. The fear is actually from, what if we're wrong about everything? Right? That's what scares people. Like on a couple episodes ago, or the last episode, we're talking about the moon landing. And a lot of people scoff, or a lot of people don't want to go down that road, but they don't know why they don't want to go down that road.
Mm.
It's so ingrained in us that it's scary to even think. I mean, is scared even the right word? It's just uneasy. It's, it's fear of the unknown. But that shouldn't be scary. We need more things to be unknown. Because right now we live in a world where the controllers claim that everything's known. Just about. Right? You can't go adventure anywhere. You can't go discover some undiscovered place.
Yeah.
It's all mapped. It's all, this is the way this works. This is the way that is. There's no such thing as dragons.
I think there is an element of fear of change, just on a everyday scale, like changing jobs, or divorce from a person you're comfortable. People get comfortable.
Yeah, okay.
Humans are very habitual, so changing, like a radical change, is kind of scary. There is an element of fear.
I like that you said that. Just the change.
Right.
Okay.
It's hard to adapt to change.
Right. And I want to encourage everybody. The change that we're talking about is simply intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether you believe in a dinosaur or a dragon, nothing's going to change. You're still going to pay your bills. You're still going to go to work. You're still going to, life is still going to go. The sun's still going to come up. Okay. You're still going to raise your kids. Still going to drive your car. All right. There's nothing to be scared of.
There's not much difference between a dinosaur and a dragon anyway. I mean, it's one breathes fire.
And flies.
I know, but there's pterodactyls and stuff.
Sure.
So they were flying.
Sure.
It's just...
Sure. No. I'm with you. Why not?
It's like a horse and a unicorn.
Yeah, why won't they just give us
like
dragons?
one has a horn.
If they're pushing dinosaurs, why not just let us have dragons too? How come dragons are off limits?
Right.
How come
Those are
dragons are
reserved
completely
for
off
D&D
limits?
games.
Yeah. So the Chinese zodiac has all real animals in it.
Yeah.
And it has dragons.
Oh.
And that's the only one that supposedly isn't real.
Mm.
That doesn't make sense.
Does it have unicorns?
Why would they have all these real animals?
Right.
And then just throw in a fictional one? And all the ancient stories have dragons. Even the Bible has dragons. But there's no dragons.
Even the LA Times has dragons.
Even the LA Times. Even the LA Times has dragons. The end of fear. We have to end, because look, just thinking of something, there's nothing wrong with that.
You ever been to the LA Zoo, right? The old part? Like there's an older section of the LA Zoo.
So there's Griffith Park and there's an old zoo there.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, what if you went there and saw a plaque that said dragon exhibit or something?
Dragon exhibit. Here we go. Meanwhile, who knows what that old zoo is anyway?
Yeah, right. Right.
You know?
Where's the blueprint?
Where's the blueprints for that?
Who built that?
The end of fear. That's what we're doing. But first we have to get to, well, no, I guess we'll just go straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just go straight into it because I had like kind of a fun thing I was going to do, but it needs more context. Okay. So I have a couple clips here. First, we're going to start off with, I think you'll like this. First, we're going to start off with Frank Zappa.
Oh, sick.
Everyone loves Frank Zappa. One of the greatest guitar players of all time.
Songwriters. I mean, just did it all.
He's just phenomenal. YouTube, Frank Zappa, some European performances, blow your mind.
Yeah, anyway. He made some films and stuff too. Like, dude, he has like in his basement, like he had a whole catalog of just random stuff that he did. Like unreleased music, films, everything.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not hearing more of that.
Right.
Okay, so here's Frank Zappa. Let's listen to this. Listen to this clip. Okay, here we go.
The reality is invented for you by people who choreograph it. There's got to be an office in Washington someplace where a bunch of people that you never heard of choreograph reality. It's not just what the next photo op is going to be. It's what is the interpretation of a given international event. And this has to be generally dispensed through the media with no questions asked. The reality is invented for you.
I love it.
The reality is invented for you.
We should get him on the purple pill.
The reality is invented for you. Now, the synopsis, the little comment on it is Zappa on the state of media and television. Did you hear him say state of media and television in that clip? Did he say anything about TV or media? No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
It was Washington, D.C.
He said what?
Washington someplace.
There it is, Washington
someplace. A bunch of people
someplace.
that you never heard of choreograph reality.
Yeah.
It's not just what the next photo op is going to be.
No, it's not just the next photo.
Which basically is
the
media.
Given international event.
It's what will be the reaction to any given international event, which means they'd have to know the international event's about to happen, right?
Yeah.
We had an international event, COVID. And how come every country on earth agreed to just shut everything down? So we're supposedly Iran's our enemy.
God,
China's
COVID.
our enemy. Oh, we have all these enemies, right? North Korea. But for COVID, we all shut down at the same time. Isn't that strange? Do you think that's odd that we would all just get along for that reason? Why wouldn't China go, yeah, you know what? We're not going to shut down. And now we're going to do something aggressive, like take over Taiwan, or since everybody's on lockdown. How come the whole world agreed on COVID, on what started it, what's going to fix it, what we should do? Every country.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Iran and Israel got along great. They all agreed. We'll just go ahead and shut down. The other thing is Antarctica, right? The Antarctic Treaty. Every country has signed on to this treaty. Enemies. And it says that no one can go there. No one can colonize, no one can populate it. And you and me, regular people, can't go there. You'll be met with machine guns and military, all types of things.
Really?
Yeah,
In Antarctica.
in Antarctica, and every country signed on to it.
Isn't that where Superman's base is?
How come China and America agree on Antarctica and on COVID? You know what I'm saying? So this idea that look, this whole thing is theater.
I don't know, man.
The
I
whole
mean,
thing
it's
is
like
theater.
it's this huge rabbit hole to go down, like with the whole COVID thing. I'm like thinking, because my kids were in school, and I'm just like thinking, like, how are they going to write this in history books?
It turns out they're not going to.
Like this is a worldwide important epoch of like the world. Like it's like on a crazy, like a world war scale.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I experienced it. But now we're 6 years removed, and it seems like everyone's just almost like it never happened.
That's what's trippy.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean that's
Yeah, right.
because we didn't, the collective didn't want to go along with it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another.
What
clip.
happened to all the variants that were supposed to be?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to mutate and it's going to be even
Right.
worse. Really?
Yeah. We're all going to need
'Cause it
QR codes on our
disappeared.
foreheads.
Disappear.
Yeah, because we can control what goes on. When we're passionate enough and we don't want stuff, they have to shut it down.
They have to.
They have to.
They have no choice.
Universal law. We control the reality.
Right.
They just try to funnel us. They try to funnel our belief. Here's another clip.
Everybody just had enough.
Right. Of that.
Mm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Wait, no, not this one. That's right. Where is it? Oh, right here.
Psychological.
Okay.
If you talk to your, what do you know?
Get
You're
some
in
more.
the middle of the psychological operation.
I would just assume 24/7 that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into the details, but
What are the signs that something is a psychological operation specifically?
so narrative sticking points. So matching narrative is number one. The matching narrative means that I'm hearing pretty much the same messaging from media outlets, celebrity influencers, which is number two, and authority. So people that are in a position of social authority, not like cops and lawyers, and judges, but people in social authority, like pop singers.
Yeah.
And I won't
Justin
say any
Bieber,
names.
Elon
Pop
Musk type.
singers, the most popular pop singers, all saying the same shit on social media. That should terrify you to the deepest part of your core, that none of this is real, or none of this is what it seems like. And those are the first two. Number three is if you're seeing people silenced or ostracized for disagreeing with an idea. We saw this during the pandemic, like crazy. There were
Yeah.
Harvard-educated medical doctors that were kicked off of social media, which is our greatest fear of human beings, is being ostracized socially. It's greater than death. This is why public speaking is rated higher by almost everybody than death. And it's not public speaking that we're afraid of. It's being out there and having a big idea and then getting rejected by a large crowd. That's what terrifies human beings. And you can leverage the shit out of that, especially when you can manufacture an artificial tribe on social media. So Harvard-educated doctors that disagreed with this mainstream narrative were getting banned. And the dude, I can't remember his name. I wish I could. But the dude who invented mRNA vaccines was on there and went against the narrative and got ostracized. The dude who invented this kind of vaccine, it's unbelievable. So and that step three, just remember in your mind that if an idea requires suppression to exist, it's a horrible idea, and it's most likely a psyop. Good ideas don't need to suppress other people. Good ideas travel on their own. Good ideas spread on their own. It doesn't need suppression by itself. So those three are some of the big ones. And
Who is this?
So this guy is a former CIA black ops specialist.
Gotcha.
And the best part of the clip, in my opinion, is the very beginning, where the interviewer says,
How do you know if you're in the middle of a psychological operation?
I would just
You
assume
always are.
24/7.
Okay. Now, another famous, I don't remember what it was. You want to Google this up though, but the first director of the CIA or something, he said, "We'll know the mission is complete when everything the American people believe is wrong." We'll know the mission is complete when everything the American people believe is wrong. Something like that.
Really?
Yeah, that's the quote. And then if you add that with this, we're constantly being bathed in lies. Okay. Constantly.
According to him.
And he was on the inside. And according to my own discernment, everything that the active shooter drills that suddenly go live, and all the questions around 9/11 and the moon landing, and there's just questions on everything. Nothing is solid that the controllers feed to us. Nothing is solid. It's all a paper tiger, just like the dinosaur thing you were talking about. You look into that, and the first dinosaur was discovered in 1880 something, and it was friends.
That was William Casey, the FBI director or CIA director.
Yeah. What's the exact quote?
We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false.
Correct. And he uses the word believe.
13th CIA director from 1981 to 1987.
Yeah, and he's not talking about Russia or China or one of our enemies. He's talking about us. And so the idea that everything we know is false, that can be scary. So then your natural reaction is to cling to all these ideas as if they're real. However, you have no direct evidence that they are real. All you have is something the controllers gave you and says they're real.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I go to the Smithsonian and they say this is George Washington's musket, I can't verify whose fucking musket that was. Or this is George Washington's
real musket?
Right? Yeah,
they
right.
don't let you touch. Usually,
Right.
you can't touch these items.
No,
in
you
museums.
can't. They're in glass, alarms.
I mean, it's very possible that it was just a 3D printed piece of plastic.
That's true. That's a good point. If it's so true and so real, let us touch it.
Yeah.
Let us look at it. Let us bathe in the truth.
Yeah.
Of what it is.
This thing's 100 years old. I mean,
yeah.
What's another fingerprint?
Right. Yeah. It lasted this whole time, but now the oils on our skin are just too much for it. Right.
Right.
It doesn't. I like that. I like that. Just like when you go into the you can Google this. Every dinosaur bone you ever saw at the Natural History Museum isn't a dinosaur bone. It's not, and you'll never see a real dinosaur bone. They're all copies. Supposedly
3D printed plastic.
They're all copies. There's no actual bones that you can go look at, touch. You have to take somebody's word for it.
Mm.
Oh no, we swear this is molds from the actual bones, and you don't know if those bones, and they put them together any way they want. This is the rib. This is says who? Says you.
Right.
What if I put it together and it was a dragon? Look, the point of this isn't to just not believe anything. Okay, that's not the point. The point is to get beyond the fear of not believing everything. The point isn't not to believe anything. The point is to get past the fear of not believing everything. Okay?
Which seems easier to do.
We need to use our imaginations.
Mm-hmm.
And start questioning everything. Because reality is scripted. And they didn't say just the TV. They didn't say just the radio. They didn't say just the newspaper. They said scripted reality.
Right.
Okay. And the guy said, how do you know if something's a psyop? And his answer was, know that it's happening 24/7. And then you have William Casey. Was that his name? The CIA director?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So then that brings us to this great artist, this wonderful artist on YouTube called My Lunch Break. And, he seems like he's from the East Coast. And he's been doing an ongoing series of videos that are so interesting. Now, his delivery is hit and miss sometimes, but the bones and the basics of what he's getting at are extremely interesting. And what he's getting into is these structures all over America in particular, and all over the world, really. Big Ben, clock, and the seat of Parliament in England, the Field Museum in Chicago. Those are just two of the ones he's working on lately, and he's questioning, when these buildings were built and how they were built, because the timelines they give us for these buildings are very short timelines. They were built in 2 years. They were built in 3 years. And then you've got all this marble, and you've got, ornate carvings on the pillars, and you've got all this different things. And it's like, when you see pictures of it from the 1800s, it's horse and buggies and mud roads. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of it all is this big palace. And they expect us to believe Abe Lincoln was born and grew up in a log cabin, but the Field Museum was made that looks like Athens, Greece.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the same amount of time.
Right.
And so this guy is emailing the different officials that should, the historical officials that should have the blueprints for things like the Field Museum that were made, 100 years ago, not that long ago, where laws were in place that you had to have blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he's asking for the blueprints of Big Ben in Europe and the Field Museum, and the officials are coming back. So government payroll, they're coming back and going, we don't have the blueprints. We don't have the blueprints that have the weight calculations, the materials calculations,
architectural drawings. Someone drew this before it was made. It had to be.
Yeah.
You imagine it, you put it to paper, and then you build it.
Right. And you have to order the materials. You have to see how much, the weight calculations. Can this hold it up?
Right.
Is this even possible? I mean, I can draw lots of things. You can't build everything you draw.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you have to source all of the materials.
Mm-hmm.
These things are made with like pure marble.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd all this marble come from? What quarry? And how much? Okay, we had rail lines then. Okay, great. And then from the rail to the site, what'd you do? Truck it with the horse and buggy? How many horses did it take? And then how many?
Right.
And then the population of these areas was very small. Population of the areas were very small. So how many of the people in the population?
Someone that when the material arrives, that's directing where it goes, and then inspects it too. Like, oh, this is not the marble that we ordered. This is soapstone. It's too soft. It's gonna crumble under pressure. We need this. Like, there's a Q, a QA to this.
Right. There's a lot of people involved in building the Field Museum in Chicago. I mean, are you looking at the picture? I mean, look at the picture, folks.
Yeah.
This is a big effing thing.
Yeah.
There's going to take a lot of people to build this thing, and a lot of communication, and a lot of drawings. And, Mr. Supervisor can't be there every time the materials get off the train. Someone's going to have a piece of paper showing where this goes, how much is allocated. Yes.
There's a crane over there.
Right. There's the horse and buggy waiting
to Jerry.
Right. You're going to need a lot of different writings, drawings. Right. And this guy, My Lunch Break, that's running this channel, is emailing these people saying, we're making a documentary, some of the most beautiful buildings in the world, and we would like to look at the blueprints.
Yeah.
We've got contractors on staff,
mm-hmm.
construction. We want to look at it and marvel at it. And the response is, we don't have the blueprints. We don't have the weight calculations. We don't have where the material came from. We don't have.
Well, what do you have?
I mean, what do you have? One of the emails said, all we have is paper napkins. I've got a couple drawings on paper napkins, Tim, for the Field Museum.
When was this built?
Or was that Big Ben? I mean, it's crazy, dude.
So there's no
And
blueprints for either.
no. And if you don't have the blueprint, then your story of where it came from, how it was built, when it was built is completely false. We can't verify any of it. I can't verify. The blueprints is what verifies things.
Right. There has to be a level of traceability
Receipts,
to a story, to a building, right?
Well, you look up, what are on, to make a building like the Field Museum or Big Ben. What are the things that come in the blueprints? The construction materials, the weight calculations, when are things coming in? It's the verification of when something was built, who it was built by. How come if these things are so amazing and beautiful, then why don't we have the construction company's name that built it?
Oh, right. That would be the first thing on the bottom.
All we have is like, all they give us is like the name of a arbitrary architect. Okay, the architect's great. Where's his drawings? And who did he hire to do all this? And the population was very low. So how many skilled workers did he actually find? And then how much did he have to pay these people? They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of money.
I feel like those should all be public record.
No, they're supposed to be. The guy on my lunch break channel looked into the laws, and they're all public record. This isn't something that has to be classified by the CIA, dude. It's just the blueprints of the building. It's not like I can grab a blueprint and then what? I'm going to go build a mausoleum somewhere. I'm going to go build a palace with the blueprints. Like there's no national security risk here.
Right.
It's been here for over 100 years. Why not let us look at it? And according to the law, it's supposed to be public record. And the guy's emailing and they're going, okay, it's supposed to be public record. We don't have copies of it. We don't have anything to verify our story of where it came from, who was built by, when it was built. And then if you look up construction photos, and this is the same with all these big buildings, all these beautiful buildings, it's always the same construction photo. It's just a little bit of scaffolding. They just show a random, it's like one picture, scaffolding, and saying, this is the construction.
It's interesting because so a city is founded.
Right.
And I'm assuming the first building to go up is probably like a town hall.
Right.
Or like a civic center building.
Yeah. Where everyone could kind of gather.
Right. And then you have your sort of local governments.
People build their little...
And then next to it's probably like a sheriff's station. Some sort of authority.
Some sort of...
And then buildings go up around that, right? But in order to build those buildings, don't you have to talk to someone in the city hall?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to put this building here.
Yeah. Don't you have to rally a bunch of people?
Some kind of documentation.
Well, there has to be. What do you want to build, sir?
Yeah.
Well, I want to build, and you're telling him verbally, okay, well, put it on paper.
Can you show me? Oh, yeah,
right.
Here's a drawing.
Yeah.
I had my buddy draw this up.
Well,
this is like, okay, this is old times. This isn't like, oh, I hired this architect. It cost me $20,000.
Although they say there is architects.
Right.
But still, let's just keep
a
going.
Local artist.
Okay, let's just take it from what you're saying.
And so he has some sort of drawing.
Okay.
Maybe it is on a napkin. I don't know.
Right. The initial drawing can be from his imagination. However, when you finally get the approval to build something.
Like, how are you going to do this?
Right.
Someone asks a question.
Yeah. You can't just I can draw a picture of the Millennium Falcon right now. Yeah. But you can't build it, Tim.
Right.
We would need a blueprint. How is this going to...
There's blueprints made for every single thing that's built. I mean, down to like gears in an old cassette deck. You know what I mean?
Except for the most amazing structures in America.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. So what's happening here? Where did these structures come from?
Mm-hmm.
Who built these structures? That's the question that these guys are asking. And it's not just my lunch break, although he's my favorite because he's shortened to the point, and he's actually emailing the officials and getting to the bottom of this. And so far, there's no blueprints for anything. Not Big Ben, not the Field Museum. There's a couple other ones he's asked, and still no blueprints. I mean, it's the same story over and over. No blueprint, no blueprint, no blueprint. So who built it? Who found it? What happened?
Shit, I did. I'm going to go down to the local city hall. I'm going
Yeah, I'm
to go
just
to
saying, I
LA
did it.
tomorrow, and I'm just going to get some blueprints
Here, I built this.
certified and just be like, yeah, I built Big Ben.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong.
I mean, really, dude, over the years, like no one's thought to just, there has to be like work that was done on it.
of course.
Just like a restoration or a remodel or some sort.
Yeah.
And they had to have some sort of drawings for that over the years.
Yeah. So the Big Ben.
Like maybe they didn't have it in 1802, but dude, like, you know, if you did any kind of work in the mid to late 1900s, you have to have something to show to get approved to start.
Now, Big Ben, go ahead and look it up and look at Big Ben with your own eyes, okay?
There's a Rev B, Rev C. Listen, you might be on Rev X.
There's no way you're building anything like this without a blueprint. You're not building palaces. You're not building the Chicago Field Museum with no blueprints. You just aren't. Because everyone's got to be on the same page.
Sure.
Otherwise, it would look like a Dr. Seuss building. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
What do you mean? This idea that we didn't have blueprints in 1805. Yes, you did. Or you're not building anything. You had railroads and trains, but you didn't have blueprints to build.
That's what I'm saying. Like sometime in, maybe when the computers started gaining traction in like 2000 or 1990s or whatever, like someone at some point should have made some sort of drawing of.
Yes. And look, if this was just one building, they said they don't have the blueprints, but they have it for these other. This guy's been doing so far. No one's been able to provide blueprints for any of these buildings. Big Ben, the Chicago Field Museum. Okay. We're not even talking, the state capital of Utah, which I went and saw. And we go inside and the entire thing's made out of marble. Solid. One block of marble is like 2 tons. And there's friggin' 1,000 blocks of marble on this thing. And,
Right.
and it was built in 1830 in friggin' 3 years.
Yeah, it's 100 feet up in the air.
Like it's on the edge of a cliff on a mountain. The Utah State Capitol? I just went there. I took the family on a summer vacation.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm inside there going, who the frick built this thing? In what time? And this is when the population was low and people were living in log cabins, but they're going to go ahead and be cool with building a palace in the middle of the Utah mountains. So you're in a city right now, whether it's Baltimore.
The bottom line is no one knows.
Isn't that crazy? No one knows. The bottom line is no one really knows.
Right.
And that's what's tripping me out. Like no one knows and no one cares. Like the people that are part of the Natural History Museum that are answering this guy's emails are starting to question themselves too. Like, I can't believe we don't have the blueprints. You would think something this magnificent would have the blueprints.
Yeah.
So we could, for posterity.
Are you familiar with John Paul Sartre?
No wonder. Hey, no wonder we haven't built any structures like this in the modern day. There's no blueprints.
Yeah.
How come we don't build, Chicago Film Museums anymore? Oh, because there's no fucking blueprints. No one knows how it was done.
No one knows how to.
No one knows how to. How come we don't build more Big Bens?
Yeah, that's why everything's square and boxy.
Yeah, right. Because no one has any blueprints. We have blueprints for square and boxy and gray.
Yeah.
And drab. We don't have anything for amazing.
You need 100 track homes. I can get that done by the end of the week.
I went to this crazy church in New York City. I mean, this thing's crazy. I forget the name of it right now, but there's a bunch of stuff like that in New York City. Everybody needs to go out and go look at your old world architecture.
Oh, yeah.
We call it old world Tartarian architecture, for lack of a better term. And you guys need to go out there and start looking and start thinking and going,
who built this?
Who built this? And why is it so ornate? Why is it 100 feet up? Why are these doorways built for giants? And there's huge Greek pillars everywhere. And then at the top of the Greek pillars, there's little cherubs carved in just for shits and giggles.
You can only see with a telescope.
Yeah, right. And in a time when supposedly it was all horse and carriage, and people's lifespans were, they're dying at 30, but they're gonna take time out of their short lives to carve in a little cherub into the top of a pillar, and they're going to do that 10 times over? No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They only live to be 30, 35. Look, it's all a fraud.
Hey, listen, are you familiar with Jean Paul Sartre?
No.
He's an old philosopher, right?
Okay.
I've just been reading some of his stuff because I've seen him pop up in movies.
Sure.
The individual's duty is to do what he wants to do, to think whatever he likes, to be accountable to no one but himself, to challenge every idea and every person.
That's what we're doing. Sounds like we need to get him on the show.
Yeah. And this one, because we can imagine, we are free.
Yes, dude. Look, at the end of fear, look at guys, we got to take this thing down brick by brick, because if we believe even a little bit of their reality, then we get more than we ever asked for, and we're tired of it.
We're cooking ourselves.
We're cooking ourselves. And turns out all their stories are fake, dude. All their stories are fake, you guys. Look at this. Here's another good one I have here for shits and giggles, okay? Look, here we go. And this will be shocking a little bit, but listen, we're just using our imagination. Okay, guys? This doesn't change your everyday life. Okay, we're not going to run into the schools and start telling all the kids that everything's a fraud. Okay, let them have because you need the basis from where we all started in order to even understand this next level of being free of it. Okay, so there's no point in running around and telling kids don't have sophistication. Okay, this is for adults only, for sophisticated minds, in order to play with the two realities. So here we have
the kids' minds aren't tainted yet.
Right. Well, but the point I like about it is, just like with church initially, you need the foundation in order to understand how big the deception goes.
Right.
If they don't understand the foundation of the lie, then they won't understand how beautiful the truth may be. If you start with it's all a lie, blah, 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 if that's your foundation, then you'll question even the truth. So let them do what they're going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because in all of it, you tend to rebel from all of it.
Right. You don't
that's how I was.
Yeah, and we don't want
listening
nihilism.
To Dead Kennedys, bad religion as a kid. It's just F the church. But
we don't want nihilism. Nihilism's not going to do it. Okay. Nihilism is not going to get us to the kingdom. So I'm going to send this over to you, and you can kind of follow along here a bit. Let's see. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. I sent you that article. Okay. Okay. Now, so we did a little bit of the moon landing, and we've made fun of the dinosaurs for a little bit. We haven't really delved into it, but they're all fraud. Anyway, but here's another thing. So anything you look into, okay, and we're not just taking, wacky websites and just some dude in his basement's word for it, okay? This is all verifiable.
Marvin the Titanosaur, remember that?
Yeah. So
come on, bro.
Yeah, Tim pulled up some dinosaur right before we came on the air.
It's
It's like a new one they just came up with. And
it's in that. Called? It's in that Chicago museum. I don't know. I don't have it up anymore, but it's like a Titanosaur.
Mario the Titanosaur.
It's something just ridiculous.
It's so stupid. It's brain rot.
It is.
Turns out everything is, except for what the Holy Spirit downloads give you. Okay, so I sent Tim this article, and it is called Staging the Civil War. Staging the Civil War, and it's politicsandletters.org, and it's a reputable website. And he has this photograph he's put up here. And I'll just read this part here. Okay, he says, this led me to Alexander Gardner, the preeminent photographer of the U.S. Civil War. Meanwhile, he's the preeminent photographer. So what, there's only one or two? Turns out there was only like 2 or 3 photographers. All the pictures you see of the Civil War are like 3 or 4 photographers, right? That's weird. But in fact, war photography in general owes a huge debt to Gardner. Gardner worked for more for the more famous Matthew B. Brady, but it was Gardner who took the majority of the more famous photographers' photos. Gardner shot some of the most iconic images of the Civil War, including the dead at Gettysburg. His most famous is this one. It shows a dead body and some rocks
In
here.
the pit, yeah.
It's a photo courtesy of the Library of Congress. So this photo is in the Library of Congress as proof. Look at the Civil War, and this is the Battle of Gettysburg. And then this photograph is staged. Gardner and his assistants dragged the body of this dead Confederate soldier from where he fell to this more photogenic locale. They also staged his body. So let me get this straight. This horrible war just happened. Okay, the Battle of Gettysburg. I mean, we're talking monstrous the way history tells us it happened. And him and his assistants went and desecrated a body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dragging the body. Didn't pick it up. Doesn't say it respectfully, picked it up, put it on a horse and wagon. You know, it says Gardner and assistants dragged the body of this dead Confederate soldier.
Yeah, it looks like they would have to, because this is a valley. This isn't just you know.
Hold on now. Now, they dragged the body to a more photogenic locale. What is this about? You're photographing a war scene.
Right.
What is photogenic?
I mean, it should just be push and click.
It should just be shoot and click. Why would you want
and then get out as soon as
Why
possible.
would you want to drag the body to a quote unquote more photogenic locale? Unless where you originally found the body wasn't believable enough. You see, you would only have to do this if you're trying to form a narrative. You're trying to prove something.
Yeah, you're trying to
They also
push
staged
a story.
Okay. This photograph is staged. And how do you know something's a psyop? Just know that you're in it 24/7. Well, even then, Gardner and his assistants dragged the body of this dead Confederate soldier from where he fell to this more photogenic locale. They also staged his body. So then they moved a dead body's arms and legs.
Yeah.
And yet, given our insistence on literalism in photography, the viewing public took this photo for what it's worth and accepted it as a literal representation of the Battle of Gettysburg. The viewing public took the photo for what it's worth and believed and accepted it. You see that?
Yeah.
These are all spiritual connotations, folks. This is all spiritual language. The viewing public took the photo and accepted it as a literal representation of the Battle of Gettysburg. And then all of a sudden, boom, now Gettysburg really did happen. We all believe it happened. Why would you even need, if this thing is so big and so bad and so horrible, why would you even need photos and staging and the body? It was over 100 years later. And so this lie went on for over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
This lie, this photo, that's a lie. It's a straight up lie and a desecration of the dead. It was over 100 years later in 1975 when a good and decent human being, when a historian, William Frasentino, realized that all was not as it seems. Oh, he did. Of course,
Yeah, right.
what Gardner did in staging the photos of the Civil War seems abhorrent to us, unethical even. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But here you go. But it was not so in the mid-19th century. Bullshit. See, this is the spin. This guy's trying to soft sell this now. It seems so. Now we've found out it's staged. We found he staged the body. He dragged the body. He did all this. So now we're outraged as a reader. We're outraged, and he immediately has to come in and tell us not to be outraged.
Mm-hmm.
That it was not so in the mid-19th. Were you alive in the mid-19th century, bro? Hey, Mr. Author of the article, Matthew
No.
Barlow, were you alive in the 19th century?
No,
Then how do you know it was not unethical in the or abhorrent in the 19th century? But it was not so in the mid-19th century at the literal birth of this new medium of representation. That has nothing to do. So just because photography was new, staging and moving dead bodies wasn't abhorrent or
After
unethical.
war?
Yeah. And this guy's using it to sell
Bro.
the reality of the war. So did the Gettysburg even happen? Or are these dead bodies from some invading army? Something weird is going on here. The American Revolution, the Civil War, it's a cover story for something else that happened. And what happened?
Enlighten me.
There was an advanced civilization in ancient America. That's where all these buildings were built. we had spiritual technology, and then we were invaded and toppled. Some kind of inside job type thing, where someone set a lie in motion. Remember, we said this on previous episodes. How do you get a God to believe he isn't one? Right?
Yeah.
Is by
convincing him he's not.
Convincing him he's not. And so once they toppled the old world, they started reinventing history. And what did the French Napoleon say? History is written by the victors. So everything you're reading is by the people who won. That doesn't necessarily mean that they were the good guys. So Civil War seems, but was not so in the mid-19th century. The little birth of this new medium. Okay, so he's selling this 100 years. He sold these photos as this really happened. If it really happened, you wouldn't need photos, and you wouldn't need a bunch of it. You wouldn't need to stage it. Nonetheless, what is the lesson from Gardner's photograph? Do we dismiss it for its staginess? Do we thus conclude that the photos of the Civil War are fake? Of course we do. But he says, of course not. See, he has to admit that it was staged. And he already is reading our minds, right? He already knows where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Because we are ethical and we do think it's abhorrent. But first he goes, well, it wasn't abhorrent and unethical back then because photography was new. And he says, what is the lesson? So he's going to tell us the lesson now as if we're children. What is the lesson from Gardner's photography? Do we dismiss it for its staginess? Yes. Do we thus conclude that the photos of the Civil War are fake? Of course we do. Of course not. Gardner's photos, like Goya's disasters of war, are representations of what happened. No, they're not. They're staged. You just got done telling me.
Right.
And this is just one article. You can look more of this up. It gets worse. I've looked it up.
I know, and I'm reading at the very bottom. The image is still real.
Oh,
yeah, but it started out fake.
It's AI slop.
So it's real fake.
It's real fake. The images are still real. Yeah, there's a real body. Who knows if it's a dummy or what? We don't know. Yeah, the images are still real. Yeah, it's an image in a museum. That's about the only real thing about it. Why is this guy trying to sell me some staged photos? What
is this? The swap meet?
Bootleg, what's the difference between this guy staging photos?
Swap meet Louis.
What's the difference between this guy? Swap meet Louis. Timu Civil War.
Right.
Hey,
it is.
What's the difference between this guy staging photos for the Civil War and AI slop? What if I posted a picture of AI slop and said,
pretty much the same.
This is the photo of the War of Los Angeles in 2025. And boy, was it horrible. And for 100 years, everyone believed it was real. And then later on, they found, AI made that photo. And what am I going to say? It's still a real image.
Yeah, it's a real photo.
Back in 2025, it wasn't abhorrent or unethical to make AI slop photos.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing.
It is.
It was we all did it back then.
Yeah.
Sorry, you believed it for 100 years. So now did this even happen then?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Exactly. And so it brings me to my next note here is that AI slop, right? So we're getting to this point now where you see photos everywhere. Something happens in the news, and then some trolls will make a fake image using AI, making fun of whatever it is, and that's fine. And people already know it's AI, blah blah blah. But what I like about this, and so now the narrative, the less than narrative that the internet is going off of is we're never going to be able to believe any pictures anymore. All video is going to be suspect. Well, you know what? Good. Good. And why is that? First off, no, not every picture. All the pictures you take, you can verify. So what I'm saying is here's the more than narrative for AI slop. It's forcing us to only believe our direct experiences. Because AI, video, and photos are getting so widespread,
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere.
It's gonna force us to only believe our own experiences that we can verify
At that moment.
At that moment, and that's a good thing. That takes away their power. We're not going to be just giving our belief over to them because we're going to think, whoop, put on the brakes. This could be AI slop, or it is.
Mhm.
We're just going to assume in another 10 years, we're just going to assume it's all AI slop. That's going to hold back our belief. That's good. Don't give them any of your belief. Don't give them any of your belief. They don't have the blueprints. The Civil War photos are staged. And then in the same article, he's telling me that that's okay. After telling me that people believed it was real for 100 years. Do you know what kind of effect that had on people's minds? How evil that is? That people believed this
For 100 years.
Yeah, people believed that this inhuman assault occurred because of this photo.
Have you seen any of this guy's other photos?
And they internalized it? Yeah, I have.
Gardner's photos?
Not only his, 3 other guys. And they're all staged. All of them admit they stage them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, except for the a couple of them will be like, you know, this one's staged, but this one isn't staged. That one's staged. Look, dude, the first
at this point, they're all staged.
Yeah, bro. If I go and buy something from somebody and it's a fraudulent ticket, am I ever going to buy a ticket? Oh, but this next one's real, bro. Let's say I go buy a ticket from somebody. I've done this, right? I bought a fake ticket.
Mm-hmm.
God, it sucked. I really wanted to go to that show. I wanted to believe it was real. Anyway, he sells me the fake ticket.
I wanted to believe the Strokes were opening for the Chili Peppers in 2026
at the Forum. AI slop. Anyway, so if I go buy something and it turns out to be a fraud, am I ever going to buy something from this guy again? Even if he comes back and goes, "Look, I wasn't unethical before, but
shame
now
on me.
This ticket is real." Yeah, of course.
No, shame on you. That's what it is. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Shame on me.
You don't fall for it twice. That's the rule.
The fact that it's
like,
staged,
lesson learned.
The fact that it's staged at all, he's done. I don't believe any of the Civil War photos. I have a book upstairs in the attic called Civil War, Photos of the Civil War. And I'm looking through them. They're all staged. The whole thing is staged. The whole narrative is staged. Someone rewrote the history. Someone rewrote the we don't have the blueprints. We don't have the blueprint. What do they have to prove that their narrative is true? They got letters from somebody somewhere that we have to go look at here's the letter to the son that was on the front lines during the Civil War. Bullshit. Where? Can I touch it? No.
No.
Can I read it? Only online. I mean, what is this? Can we look at the blueprints for Big Ben? No. Can I see pictures from the Civil War? Sure. It says here they're staged. They are, but it was okay back then. I mean, dude, come on.
Yeah.
I'm done. Are dragons real? No, but dinosaurs are. But the LA Times has a thing right here. Oh, but that's because they were making shit up back then. I mean, like you did in the Civil War. Oh, whoops.
Fumble.
I mean, it's a fumble, dude.
Oh, dude, it's a major mainstream fumble.
But it's the end of fear. This doesn't have to be scary.
Right.
This is empowering.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. This is empowering. It's not fearful. You lose nothing by not believing them. Okay? You can still know the narrative. I can still recite it like if it was, my own last name. I know all the different ins and outs of what the Civil War was and why it was. So we're not just throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If I'm in a conversation with somebody and they're talking about it, I can, I still know what they're talking about. This isn't an idea that you just throw around lightly. You don't want to piss anyone off or make someone scared. We're not doing this to be mean to anybody. We're doing this to free your mind, right? The truth. You will know the truth and the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Okay? Their truth is not setting us free. All right? Their truth is less than. And man is evil. And why is it evil? Oh, because look at the Civil War and look at this and look at that. And we did this to the Indians and we did this to the... And it's like, did we though? Did we? Or did somebody else?
Where's the proof? Well, it's been doctored. The image has been doctored.
Yeah. Yeah. Even
there is no blueprint.
There is no blueprints. The whole thing is holes upon holes. The Nina, the Pinta and the Santa Maria, the whole thing. It's not the way they say, and we're going to get more into it.
Yeah.
As we go down this road. I've got so many notes here because this goes into spirituality too. This goes into, if you think, if we think this is a fraud, there's other frauds coming because history is written by the victors. And we're going to we're going to get
that's
more
pretty
into
heavy.
it. And the other thing I want to say is this. Yes, things are not as they seem in this timeline, okay? And yes, we are shifting timelines all the time. And at some point we have to be okay with the timeline we're in, all right? And it's not that they erased history or didn't erase history. It's that our collective belief is changing so rapidly that we are switching timelines to a time that the 3D rationalization, in order to catch up to our belief, is manifesting that our history was changed because now we're shifting to a timeline where we're divine. So the rationalization has to be where we discover these things in order to keep on the ascension path. Because in this timeline, the 3D, right. Wrote this down. So it's not that they erased history or didn't erase history. It's that our collective belief is changing so rapidly that we are switching timelines to a time that the 3D rationalization, in order to catch up to our belief, is manifesting that our history was erased or changed, because in this timeline it was, in order to facilitate or rationalize our new belief, or remembering that we are sovereign, divine, and live forever. You see that?
Yeah.
This is a beautiful thing, guys. The fact that we're living in a timeline now where it was faked, it was staged, shows that mankind has been doing better than we ever thought. We are actually a good people, a righteous people. We just have to believe and remember. Like we said before, it's not that we never went to the moon. We lived in that timeline for many years where we did go to the moon. But now its usefulness has passed. And
now they're making movies that it was fake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That was not there.
No.
10, 20 years ago.
Right, because we've shifted timelines.
Right.
Its usefulness has passed, and what's useful to our belief now is that we are sons of God, and we don't need to go to the moon. We are bigger than the moon. We're more important than space and planets and all these things, meaning we will allow nothing to contain us any longer. Not history, not architecture, not the Civil War, not sins of the past. Nothing will contain us any longer. Not our history, not our science, not our politics, not our religion, nothing.
We're eternal beings.
Right. And we're gods. We're the sons of God.
Right.
And we are all, God is all, and God is within us. And that's what we're seeing here. And we're documenting it right here on the Purple Pill Podcast. All right, everybody.
Wow.
I've got, I can go another hour, to be honest. I kind of want to, but I think we'll wrap this up, and we'll have another show very soon, because I've got a bunch of notes still.
It cannot be contained.
It cannot be contained. And go look some of this stuff up. It's very freeing.
It is. It is liberating.
It is, because it's like, oh, maybe we didn't fight each other. Maybe all these people didn't have to die. Maybe they didn't.
Right.
Maybe we're unified. Maybe we are better than we thought. And there's just a few bad apples, and what they manipulated our beliefs.
Unfortunately, they won.
Well, temporarily.
Right.
But they manipulated our beliefs to manifest their reality. But now we're remembering who we are together.
Historically, they won, but we're taking dubs now.
That's like the Lion King when the first lion is ruling and everything's great.
Yeah.
And then Scar takes over and it all becomes dark and no one can find anything. We're in the Scar right now.
Right.
But the Lion King's coming back.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. We love you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Hope we didn't scare you. The end of fear.